Alright everybody, welcome back to First Attack. I'm kind of discussing key moments, and what I'm doing is I'm using a particular moment to illustrate it, which is this one right here. Blocking the short scissor kick in the corner. It's a common situation that comes up, and obviously with a lot of people complaining about it, Bison getting the -1 nerf, you can see a lot of people have problems with this particular sequence as well. So that's why I'm using this one to focus on. Plus, I know a lot of the crazy mind games in this particular situation. Someone actually asked a very legitimate question. I said with Cammy right here, I said in the example earlier that I jump backwards here to beat out the scissor kick. Gentle Snow asked this in the chat. Really, and I was asked, why do I do the jump back instead of, for example, neutral jump? And in this particular situation, it's just because Cammy's neutral jump is terrible. So you would more than likely jump back. If you're Sakura, for example, with her amazing neutral jump roundhouse, or Adon with his amazing neutral jump roundhouse, yeah, 100% you would block this and neutral jump and blow up Bison. But the reason why for Cammy you don't do that is because, like I said, her neutral jump is just really bad. So here, for example, I don't even know if I can hit him in time. Alright, let's try roundhouse. It's just not gonna hit anybody. So this is why it's jump backwards. It's because in Cammy's particular case, that's her jump forward. Jump jab, not gonna hit. Jump short. Okay, jump short's gonna hit, but I'm not gonna get any combos off of it. Jump strong is probably... oh, that jump strong doesn't even hit either. So basically, yeah, so jump backwards with Cammy is key for her. Unlike a lot of other characters where neutral jump is gonna work better. So there you go. Okay. So one of the things that what I want to talk about here is, you know, I've talked about this key moment where people are forced to do stuff and neither one has an advantage or whatever like that. So I always say that's when the tension's high, when both players are kind of have to act or whatever like that. But here's the real question, right? The real question is, isn't that the whole fighting game? Isn't that every single moment? Isn't every single moment in a fighting game where both players have high tension and both players need to act and all sorts of stuff like that? The reason why key moments are specific is because, again, the key factor is that neither character has an advantage, right? Neither character has an advantage. And the reason why Bison Scissor Kick is such a good example is because it previously used to be 0 on block. Now it's -1. You could say that Bison's opponent has the slight advantage because it's -1, but you can see how the ranges that it puts itself in, that -1 really doesn't come into play very much. If you actually do the scissor kick and are far away enough so that low jabs and low shorts won't hit you, then it really doesn't matter if it's -1 or 0 really. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference, but it's not huge. In other cases, for example, like let's say someone knocks you down and they go for a cross-up forward kick. You're like, well, here's a key moment. What do I do here on wake up and stuff? That's not a key moment. The reason why that's not a key moment is because the person jumping at the grounded opponent has the clear advantage. What he's doing is going for a cross-up so that your reversal uppercut misses. He's probably he's maybe timing a safe jump so that if you uppercut, he can land and block it and punish you in time. You're just not in an advantageous situation, so it's not particularly good. And so it's not a key moment because your opponent who's jumping at you really doesn't have much to worry about. There's a term that's been making its way around called set play. I don't know where it came from. I just heard Justin's mention it a lot during the I think it was the Champ versus Nemo match at West Coast Warzone. He kept talking about set play. But that's kind of what it is when you knock someone down and you go for the option select or the safe jump or the perfectly timed cross up and all this stuff like that. It's kind of a set play for you, so you don't really have to worry about it. There's no guessing between one character and the other character. It's pretty much, yeah, you basically have to respect it. So someone has requested that I do this live. I'm trying to think of what a good safe jump timing is. Hang on. I'm really terrible that I never really learned safe jump very well, but I'll show you in a second. Let's see if I can give you an example here. Oh yeah, that's right. Cody has one on Cami, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. We'll do this live. Okay. So I can't remember if it's forward throw or back throw. Might be back throw. Yeah, it's back throw. Okay, hang on. Let's do something really quick. So I'm just doing an easy one here because it's the easiest safe jump to time here. So I'm gonna do jump jab like that with Cody, for example. And oh, is that what he was asking? Oh, sorry, my bad. In any case, but it's a good example anyway. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something as well. So hang on a second. Let me do something really quick. Sorry, I was reading the chat wrong. But it's still good to show you guys what I mean anyway, why this is not... There we go, perfect. So in this kind of a situation here, what you'd probably ask yourself is, once Cody throws me like this, and I'm Cammy here, I'm forced to do an action now. So when I block, I can either do a wake up uppercut, or I can do all sorts of crazy things like this. Why isn't this an example of a key moment? And the reason why it's not an example of a key moment is because I'm not really in a good situation here, because I can't uppercut. If I uppercut, you see what happens? He blocks it, right? And if I do nothing, I have to block his jump roundhouse. That's the definition of a safe jump. Not only that, but what Cody can do also is... Oops. Let's try that again, shall we? So what Cody can also try to do in this particular situation is option select your backdash. Let's see if I got this right here. So even if I cammy and I tried to backdash, I didn't get it right. I did it too fast. But basically you can time it so that you can land, block, and then do the crack kick, and then do some ground attacks. So you cover every situation. In this particular situation, oh shoot, you know what? Dude. I am failing so miserably right now. Alright, let's start over again here. So, the reason why... so basically, if I don't do anything, I have to block the jump attack, right? If I uppercut, he will block in time. Oh, see, I actually tried to do something. So let's record this all from the beginning again. Whoops. Hang on a second. Oh boy. So I keep saying, man, I need a assistant here. But if I do jump roundhouse like this is not a key moment for Cody. This is because of the situation here is too advantageous for him. He doesn't have to worry about anything, because if I don't do anything, I get hit by the jump kick. And if I decide to uppercut, he can block it in time. So there's really not much I can do in this situation. And, you know, if I was really good at the option selects as well, even if Cammy backdashes, I'd be able to chase her down with, for example, a low roundhouse or standing roundhouse or even a crack kick or something like that. So basically, this is not a key moment. Because even though Cammy has to kind of decide what to do, everything is not in her favor. So it's really bad. It's not a key moment in that particular situation. Here's another example of not a key situation. People are sitting here telling me they want to see Cat or Riot. But here in this situation here, let's record Ryu doing Fireball from a screen away. Like this. This is also not a key moment. So even though we're both neutral, neither of us have the advantage here. So why isn't this a key moment? Because the tension's not very high. No one really has to do anything. No one is in a position right now where an action must be forced. This is kind of one of those reset situations where people are trying to gather things again. Like maybe Cammy will go and do this and catch you. I mean, sure, we'll call that a tension. But, you know, most of the time, that's only if Cammys can predict it properly. Because if they're too slow like that, you would be able to uppercut her for free, pretty much. So this is not a key moment because people are it's a little bit too much of a situation where neither of us really have to act. Because I can do all sorts of things. I can focus back dash, I can focus forward dash. Not really much of a worried situation. An example that Ryan Hunter gave at one point of a key moment is, this is where one of the times that he actually brought it up. So this is a key moment right here. Boom. Right when Ryu lands. This is a key moment. Because unlike the get up situation, I do not have the opportunity to set up a safe meaty. I do not have the opportunity to set up a safe jump. I am just as vulnerable in this situation as Ryu is, because any meaty attack I try to throw in there, I can get uppercut, right? Despite the fact that Cammy's got some little tricks here, I can dash under and combo from the other side, like so. Doesn't matter, Ryu can still autocorrect his uppercut, because you can totally do that. Someone asked me earlier if you could, when you're supposed to mash uppercuts. It's a perfect example, wiggling back and forth. So you can't. And actually, Francois has it exactly right. He says a key moment is a moment where there's a potential shift in control. Right. Both players are in a situation where neither really can say they have the advantage, but as soon as something happens, one person usually does take control. So even though, like I said, Cammy has a lot of options here because Ryu is falling down, Ryu can still pretty much counter everything. And especially if I do one thing, you'll see why this becomes a crucial key moment. Because I'm going to pick Cammy here, and instead of Ryu, I'm going to pick Viper. And, dude, Vipers don't know how to stand still. They just don't. Sorry for butchering your name. But yes, Vipers do not know how to stand still. They never like to block. Vipers have to do something every single time. And the tricky part about this is that Vipers can do Fierce Thunder Knuckle, right? They can do EX Seismo. That's a valid option. They can do EX Burn Kick. That's a valid option. Backdash. That's a valid option. She can do Seismo Feint Throw. That's a valid option. There are so many options for Viper in this particular situation. This is why Vipers don't like to block. because they have so many options. There's so many different things that they can do, and it's really hard to know which one's going to stop it. So even though in that particular situation with Ryu, it seems like Ryu's only option is the uppercut or not uppercut, depending on the character, you could end up with a really, you could end up with a really not particularly advantageous situation for Cammy. Why did I even punch with Viper? So at this point in time, Viper could do EX Seismo, and let's say I try to do meaty low strong. I get hit by the Seismo, and all of a sudden she combos me into an Ultra. Or I think that she's going to do nothing, so she does EX Seismo feint and then throws me, which will still go through my low strong meaty, so she'll still be able to land and throw me. So it's not necessarily a great advantageous situation for the Cammy player. They're both still in this kind of, I'm not sure who's gonna do what kind of situation. So that is why this is a key moment. And if you watch a match, like next time you watch some tournament, and this weekend will be a good choice because this weekend will be the Fall Classic, which is going to be huge. Lots of players going to be there. But while you watch it, see if you can start identifying key moments. See if you can start picking up these kind of situations. Again, it's a great way to understand the flow of a match and how to play the match, because what you'll do is you'll start recognizing those moments. And that's why you hear, like, sometimes when me and David do commentary, like, we'll kind of get a little bit tense during key moments. Like, even though it's really fast, like, punches him out of the air, we're like, oh my god, and now he's going to, you know, and because we know something has to happen in this situation, and that is a key moment kind of situation. So once you start learning how to spot key moments, this actually helps you in the actual match itself when you're playing. Because what we've done now is we've talked about this, right? In the situation that I said with Bison versus Cammy, I'm going to reiterate this again. Once you block the short scissor kick, I went through so many different branches. Bison can do short after a blocked short scissor kick. He can do low short scissor kick. He can do immediate scissor kick again. He can do slightly delayed second scissor kick. One option I didn't show was low strong in the scissor kick, because low strong will beat out a lot of low shorts. He could do stand around house to kick you out of the air. He can do EX head stomp to catch your back jump. He could jump strong you to catch your back jump. He's got all sorts of options. And on the opposite side, we have Cammy, which I said, I can do nothing. I can uppercut. I can low jab. I can low forward in the drill. I can jump forward. I can jump backwards, etc., etc., etc. So let's just pretend we have 8 options for Cammy and 8 options for Bison. Think about how all those interact with each other. Think about how they all hit each other. You can see now that Bison's corner scissor kick pressure is tenuous at best. So once Bison starts getting you with the scissor kick, if you start getting nervous, this is your own fault, because you haven't researched all your options on how to beat the short scissor kick. That is why this is a key moment, because if you do not know how to stop it and your opponent senses this, they are going to scissor kick you to death in the corner and you will get blown up really badly. Another thing too is that, and this is kind of one of the main things that I want to talk about, you start to pick up on psychology. What happens is that in all the key moments, like let's go back to FSP versus Gandhi. Remember, we covered this match a while ago. If you guys haven't seen it, please check it out. It's really a crazy match, and better yet, just watch the match where me and David analyze it, which is Lessons from Gandhi. There's a lot of key moments that occur where you see the player Gandhi mash out uppercuts with Ryu. Key moment after key moment after key moment, he's mashing out an uppercut. If you learn to recognize these key moments, and you notice in every one of these key moments that the opponent is uppercutting, there's a lot to be gleaned from that in terms of psychology. You know, either your opponent panics easily, he's very scared, or he doesn't know what he's doing and uppercuts just make him feel safe, right? So you've already figured something out from him. So in 10 seconds of a match, if you recognize your key moments, as soon as 2 key moments happen, if he mashed uppercuts both times, then you already have a read on what this opponent is like. If you fight an opponent and 4 out of 5 key moments come and he just blocks, you know that he's a scared player. You can throw him now. If you play a guy and in 5 out of 8 key moments he mashes low jab, he's a jab masher. Now you can frame trap him. And this is why it's so important to understand key moments, because it is where you can build up so much of your information. Me and David have said this so many times when we've commentated, when top players like Valle, like Combo Fiend, like Daigo, like Justin Wong, that they can lose or look absolutely human the very first match they play someone. And they could lose the first match, or it could be super close and they barely squeak out a win, and you're like, wow, this guy might be able to beat Justin. And then all of a sudden the next game, Justin blows him up, right? That's because in the first game, they're testing key moments. They're trying to figure out how the opponent plays in specific key moments. They're reading whether or not they're offensive, defensive. Do they backdash a lot? If they backdash a lot, then they start picking that up. And you start building these patterns. And what makes a match really, really tense, and well, not really tense because I've been using that word, so I want to use a different word. What makes a match really interesting and really when you get into the psychology is when you're into that situation where Bison makes you block the short scissor kick in the corner, and both players know that there are 7,000 branches that they can go down. That's when the mind games start. That is when, this is the moment where tournament winners are separated from strong players. Because this is the moment where they get a better read on their opponent and they can train them psychologically better than anybody else. You see situations where a Bison will do scissor kick and then immediately Cammy does low forward and then he does the delayed scissor kick and whiff punishes it. The next time he does short scissor kick and then he walks up and throws Cammy because he knows Cammy's not going to touch a button anymore. But that's because in previous key moments he's realized that he's quick to be scared to repeat mistakes. So he actually knows that last time he got punished with a whiff punish. So now he's not going to do anything. I'm going to walk up and throw. So this is why key moments are so important, is because it allows you to pick up on psychological patterns, and also really is the difference maker in matches. It really is the difference maker in who will win and who basically loses. Before I go on, I do plan this to be a pretty short episode. I'm probably going to end really soon. But I'm going to take one quick break really quick, get some more of those esports pennies, and when I come back, I'll try to close this kind of out a little bit more. But yes, again, everything started off confusing, but I hope that this section here, this last part that I'm talking about, kind of ties everything together, and you kind of get now why key moments are so important. But hang on, I'll be right back, and when I come back, we'll kind of close this out with a nice summarizing conclusion. Be right back, guys.